father's love and approval. First, I'm going to talk about the basics that I learned from my father, some of the basic survival things. And then I also want to touch on some of the things that he taught me, and he had no idea he was teaching me those things. My father taught me to pay attention to detail. And by that I mean, at our home, we gathered for 3 meals a day: breakfast, dinner, and supper. That was the normal. If anybody was missing, it was normally my father, not home in time for dinner. It was my duty to set the table for those meals. And by that, I had to make sure everyone has a plate, a fork, a spoon, a knife, a glass, and any condiments that were needed for the meal. So if we had something specific that took a certain condiment, that condiment better be on the table. If it didn't, if it wasn't, I heard about it. So that's where I get the detail from. It taught me very quickly to pay attention to detail. It was my duty to do the dishes after the meal. Do them quickly, efficiently, and make sure I have not left anything undone or any dirty dishes left over. He taught me to be prompt. In the morning before school, we would walk to school, and we had to leave the house at 8:20, 8:30, around that time. It was my duty. Breakfast was usually at 7 o'clock. It was my duty to make sure dishes are done, and I'm ready to walk out that door at 20 after 8. If I didn't, I stayed home and finished them and walked to school by myself. I had other siblings that were able to go before me. Again, it didn't feel the best at the time, but it taught me to be prompt, to make sure I got my stuff done. Now I wanted to touch on some of the things that I learned that were not so much fun, or that I don't think he had any intention to teach me. I'm going to share a little story that happened when I was between 3 and 4. We were sitting at the dinner table. There was 6 of us children gathered with Mom and Dad, and we all had gotten our first serving of food. And I asked for, my brother and I both asked for second serving. My brother got a second serving, and I was told, "You don't need more food, you are fat enough." That stuck into my mind quite a bit. It has for a long time, for all these years. And I will later touch on how that has helped me. But that was really hard. My father called me lazy. The last time I remember being called lazy, I was past 21. I don't exactly remember the situation, but it happened quite a bit. He always made me feel like I was unworthy. I was very hard on shoes. They had to buy more shoes for me than anyone else in the family. I had a side step, but I just pushed it right through the shoe. And so every time they had to buy me another pair of shoes, I just felt that I wasn't worth the money that they had to spend for it. Teasing was a lot. They did a lot of teasing. That was okay. I learned that it was okay to tease others. I learned that it was okay to call others fat, lazy, whatever I wanted, because that's what I seen my father do. Ultimately, what I got from this is I don't need my father's approval to find happiness. I found once I determined that, life was so much easier. Life was just so much easier. It was like a big load lifted off of my shoulders. I will not pass this tradition down to my children. I will not discipline or talk to them in the same way. That I decided long before I left my family and my church behind me. I could say that this, because of the experiences, I became very tenacious about what I wanted in life, my vision, and my goal. I wanted to make sure that I didn't carry on some of these things. So in conclusion, my father didn't know any better. He didn't. There are things that he did know better, but there are things that I learned that he didn't know any better. He did what he was taught, and that's what I have to remember. It is not, he did not have the knowledge that I have today, and so I just feel very fortunate that I have the knowledge to not carry that forward and to stop the cycle. He didn't do that, but he didn't have the knowledge to do that. I love him very much today. And I haven't gotten to the point of saying that to him. But I will. It will come. And the more I speak about it, the sooner it will come. I love him very much, and I have learned so much. I have become a stronger person because of what I learned from my father, good or bad. So all I can say is thank you for being a part of my life. I am a stronger person because of my father. Thank you so much.